from India side?
Kuldeep.
Again,
Or he took 4 wickets, I think. Yeah,
he's
4.
in a great form then, huh? He's bowling with a lot of confidence. Bowling is about confidence. When a bowler feels confident, then something happens with, with his wrist, with his fingers, with the fast bowler or spinner. When they bowl with confidence, the ball does more, and when they're doubtful, when they are insecure, then somehow the ball just goes straight. It doesn't do anything. I've noticed there was a time Irfan Pathan, he was such a difficult bowler to play because of his confidence. His confidence was so high. And then came a coach from Australia, Ian Chappell, Greg Chappell, and he just destroyed his confidence, and after that, Irfan Pathan could never be the same bowler. He had to retire. His first half of his career and the second half of his career, if you divide his career in 2 halves, you will see 2 different bowlers completely. I always had this feeling about Kuldeep Yadav, that he's a very, very difficult bowler to play against. But the only thing is he needs to be confident. And 5-4, I think in the next match against Bangladesh, he's going to be really, really, difficult. He will be very, very confident because of the wickets he has got against these teams. And now let's get started with the class. We are studying the comparative adjectives. I asked you to do a little bit homework in the practice book. Let me open it. The comparative adjectives. So what's the comparative form of these adjectives? What's the comparative adjective? Let's see. Old. What is the comparative of old?
Older.
Old. We don't say more old, right? Because old has only one vowel sound. So the comparative of old is older. What's the comparative of tall?
Taller.
What's the comparative of hot?
Hotter.
Hotter. And nice?
Nicer.
Nicer. Polite?
Lighter.
Not polite has 2 syllables, right?
Oh, light.
Oh, light. Okay, so what should be the comparative?
More polite.
Polite. Easy.
Easier.
Easier. Pretty.
Prettier.
Prettier. Okay, when you have adjectives ending with Y, change the Y into IER. Exciting.
More exciting.
Beautiful.
More beautiful.
More beautiful.
Important.
More important.
Right.
More beautiful.
Okay.
More important.
Okay. I remember when I was a child, my comparative adjective lesson was limited to this exercise. My teacher asked us to remember the comparative form, and that is all. But now in this course, we are going to do a lot more. Okay. Now take a look at these adjectives. These are comparative, right? And you have to write the opposite comparative. So what is the opposite of smaller?
Bigger.
Bigger. Okay. What's the opposite of cheaper?
Costlier.
Yes. Or more expensive.
More expensive. Yes.
What's the opposite of safer? What's the opposite of safer? Really? You don't know? Opposite of safe?
Unsafe.
Opposite of safe is dangerous.
Dangerous.
So what is the opposite of safer?
Danger.
Danger is a noun. Dangerous is the adjective. So opposite of an adjective is always an adjective, right? Opposite of poor is not money. Opposite of poor is rich, right, guys? Money
Yes.
cannot be the opposite of poor. Poor is an adjective, so opposite is also an adjective. You can use only an adjective as the opposite. So safe, dangerous, safer, opposite of safer,
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
but dangerous is a positive adjective. It is not a comparative adjective, is it?
More dangerous.
Then why were you not saying that earlier? Because you said bigger, more expensive. Okay, next. What's the opposite of faster?
Slower.
Slower.
Opposite of cleaner?
Dirtier. Dirtier.
Opposite of quieter? Hello?
Yes,
What's
sir.
the opposite of quiet?
Crowd.
Noise.
Arish, what is the difference between noise and noisy?
Mm,
Anyone? What's the difference between noise and noisy?
Noisy means we have lots of sounds.
Noise is an adjective. Noisy is an adjective. Noise is a noun. Okay. Don't try to explain the difference in terms of meaning. The meaning is the same. Okay. They come from the same word. So, of course, meaning will be related. You need to understand the part of speech. Noisy. Noise is an adjective. Noise is a noun. There is a lot of noise in this place. There is a lot of noise in this place. It means this place is very noisy. This place is very noisy. Okay. Next. What's the opposite of quieter? Now you're not answering. It means you're not able to process the information I'm sharing with you. I told you noise is a noun, noisy is the adjective. And I'm asking you the opposite of quieter. Quieter is the comparative form of quiet, right? So what's the opposite of quiet?
Noisier.
Yes, Rajiv. The opposite of quieter is noisier. When I ask the opposite of quiet, it should be noisy. It is a quiet place. It is a noisy place. She is very quiet. She is very noisy. So quiet is opposite of noisy. We have quieter. So the comparative is here. We need to write the opposite. It should be noisier. Okay. More interesting. More interesting. What's the opposite of more interesting? Again, no response. So you guys are failing very basic test. You don't remember or don't know the opposite of difficult or interesting?
More boring.
Yes, Afrin. What is the opposite of more difficult?
More easy.
Somebody will correct Arish. Yes, easier. When an adjective ends in Y, the comparative is made by removing that Y and add IER. So easy, the comparative of easy is easier.
Easy.
Easier.
Okay, and next would be more modern. More modern,
Older.
older. Yes. What's the opposite of better?
Worse.
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 Okay. Now comparing things. Write sentences to compare the pictures using the comparative form of the adjectives. Write sentences to compare the pictures using the comparative form of the adjectives. Let's look at the pictures. There are two cars here, and we have the words small, cheap, new, comfortable, and we have some information. Pete's car, 2,000 pounds. Anne's car, 25,000 pounds. Number one, Pete's car is smaller than Anne's car. Two, cheap. Use the word cheap. Go ahead.
Ina's car is cheaper than Pete's car.
Are you still sleeping, Praful?
No,
It, no, sir.
I'm
Pete's car is cheaper than Anne's car.
than Anna's car, sir.
Sanjeev, did you hear Praful? He says
Mhm, mhm.
Anne's car is cheaper than Pete's car. Where are you, Praful? Are you think you're still in sleep, huh? 25,000 pounds is cheaper than 2,000 pounds. And look at the cars. Praful, what are you doing, Praful?
there is a response.
What is the correct sentence? Anne's
Anna's
car.
Pete's car is
Yes,
cheaper than
it's
Anne's.
Yes, sir.
You said Anne's car is cheaper.
Mhm.
Pete's
He is drunk, I think.
Pete's car is cheaper than Anne's car, right? Number three.
Anne's car is more modern. Sorry, Anne's car is new.
And his car more
Anne's.
portable.
Anne's. New is the
And
adjective. Rukhsar beta. New is the
New and
adjective.
is
How's your mother, Rukhsar?
Anne's car.
fine, sir.
She's, because
Something
you have
better feel.
that's why you have been absent, I think, because of your mother.
Yeah, sir. Because
Hmm.
my mom is not very well. But sometime days it's some better feel.
बेटा हिंदी के अरेंजमेंट से इंग्लिश नहीं बोली जाती है। वो जो तुमने बोला अभी आखिरी वाला सेंटेंस पिछले कुछ दिनों से ठीक लग रहा है, वो हिंदी में ऐसे बोल सकते हैं, हेलो सृष्टि बेटा, बट इन इंग्लिश रुखसार वी डोंट स्पीक दैट वे। इंग्लिश का अपना वर्ड ऑर्डर होता है, इंग्लिश बोलने के लिए अलग वर्ड ऑर्डर चाहिए। रुखसार सोच के बोलो कि मम्मी ठीक है, कुछ दिन से ठीक है, अगर बोलना है तो कैसे बोलेंगे?
Some days, sir, no.
नहीं, संडे से नहीं स्टार्ट होगा।
Okay, sir.
she is better, she is better से
She is
सेंटेंस स्टार्ट।
better. Okay.
ये नई बात नहीं है, हम लोग हमेशा इंग्लिश ऐसे ही बोलते हैं, गौर से देखो तो। शी इज बेटर, हालांकि इस सेंटेंस का इंग्लिश थोड़ा मुश्किल है। शी इज बीन बेटर फॉर लास्ट कपल ऑफ डेज,
Yeah,
but it's
sir.
okay. Hey Srishti, finally you are up as well. Where are you? In Bihar State?
No, sir, in my college.
Okay. Staying in the hostel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Has the class started or your course has started?
No, sir, my class has started.
College classes have not started yet.
No, sir, my college classes have started.
Okay. So how was the first day?
Yeah, sir, it's good.
Did you understand what they taught?
Yes, sir.
So the syllabus is not too difficult for you at the moment?
So now it is induction classes.
Okay, these are introduction classes, right? So Srishti is now studying to be an engineer, right, Srishti?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of engineer you're gonna be?
Yes, sir, software engineer.
You're going to be a software engineer. You're studying computer science.
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you going to study AI?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great. Your future is fine.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry. Just enjoy your syllabus, enjoy your course. I hope you will. And how are your classmates and teachers? Are they all friendly, nice?
Yes, sir. So, but my teacher's language is a little bit difficult.
Okay. Where are you, Beta? Which
Th-
state?
Their accent is difficult.
Which state are you in, Srishti?
Odisha. Odisha.
You are in Odisha. So they speak
Yes, sir.
with Bengali accent, Uriya Bengali accent.
Yes, yes, sir.
I understand. Hmm. Odisha is a beautiful place, no? There are
I
some
don't
nice.
know.
Have you been anywhere?
Yes, uh, Hirakund Dam.
Hirakunda.
I went Hirakund Dam and Samleshwari Temple.
Uh-huh. Do you talk to your parents every day?
Yes, sir, every day.
Of course you do. Is this the first time that you are away from home?
No, sir.
You have been
It's
away from home,
it's the second time.
right? First time you were away for the preparation.
Um,
Hmm.
yes,
I hope
I went to Patna
it was only in
for
Patna.
IIT preparation.
Yes, now you are in Odisha, which is further. Okay.
Mhm.
Further, which is further. Further is the comparative of far. Patna is far, but Odisha is further. Okay. You see, Patna is 80-90 kilometers from Biharship, right? But Odisha is more than 90 kilometers. So Odisha is further. And but I hope you have a good time, Srishti. And I know your syllabus is going to be tougher and tougher, more challenging with time. Okay. People say that, first semester is not very difficult, but after that, things become challenging. But I
Yes,
hope you are up for the challenge. You are ready for the challenge, and do not put your work, for tomorrow. Do not procrastinate. That's what they say, right? Just a second. Just a second. Give me a second, please. Procrastinate. Yes. Uh, to delay your work. I'll do it tomorrow. That will be the worst for an, preparing engineer, future engineer, because the syllabus is so hard. Uh, Everybody, you see, if Srishti does well in her course, she will have a very nice future. If she does well, she will be hired by some foreign companies. She can be hired by some good Indian companies as well. And her salary will be in, lakhs, 5 digits per month. Okay. Multiple 3-4 lakh rupees per month if she does well in her course. Okay. And this became possible because of two things. Uh, Intelligent she is. There are a lot of women, there are a lot of boys who are also intelligent like Sisti. But two things, her parents' confidence in her and her dedication. These two factors are the most important, okay? When your parents trust you, and two, when you give your best, when you do what you should do. Some of my students have not done their homework here in this class, okay? and they are struggling with these exercises, these questions. Guys, you have to be dedicated to whatever you do. If you're learning English, you have to do your best there as well, okay? Then only you can expect a good result. Imagine Shrishti was not alone doing the preparation for engineering. There were so many other students with her as well. But some of them focused more on watching movies, going out with friends, sleeping late at night, having parties. Of course, they could not be selected because they did not spend their time studying. When they saw the question, oh, I don't know how to solve this. Oh, I don't know how to answer this. But somebody who was studying would obviously answer. So I'm training you to speak English. I'm helping you how to form sentences. Please pay attention and practice at home. Number 3, Anne's car. New, the adjective is, look, we have small, we use a small. We have cheap, we use cheap. We have new, we are going to use new. Anne's car is newer, right? And
Anne's
last,
car is newer than Peter's car.
it's Pete, okay? Now comfortable. Last sentence.
Anna's car,
Are for
Anna's car was
more
more
comfortable.
comfortable
Very good,
than Peter car.
very good, very well done. Now,
Car is more comfortable.
we have another 2 things to compare. 2 houses, okay? The house and the flat. Let's compare. Number 5, look at the house. 200,000 pounds. Town center, 45 minutes. Flat, 100,000 pounds. Town center, 5 minutes. Okay. Now, in sentence number 5, the house is,
Bigger
the
than the
adjective is big.
Bigger than the flat.
The house is bigger than the flat. 6,
Mm,
The house is more expensive than flat.
The flat.
Than the
The
flat.
house is more expensive.
7,
The flat
The
near.
flat is
the flat is,
The flat
the flat
is
is nearer the center.
more than the center.
sentence number 7, Ruksar.
Mm, the flat is more the more modern.
Sentence number 7. So why are you ignoring the word near, Ruksar? You used big in number 5, expensive in 6. So in 7, you will use the word near, right?
The flat is near the center.
What are we studying? Do you have an idea? We are studying comparative adjectives, right? And we can see that the town center is only 5 minutes from the flat, but the town center is 45 minutes from the house. तो ज्यादा नजदीक टाउन सेंटर के कौन है?
5 minutes and down.
So everybody, what should be the sentence? The
The
flat
flat is
is
nearer the center.
Near the
nearer,
center.
nearer, right?
Nearer
Comparative,
than house.
nearer, nearer, okay? The flat is nearer to the center. The flat is,
Nearer to the center.
the flat is nearer to the center. The flat is nearer to the center. Right. Nearer to the center than,
Then the house.
than the house. The flat is nearer to the center than the house. Very good. Odisha is nearer or Patna is nearer to Bihar Sharif?
Patna is
Patna,
Patna is
Patna is nearer.
Patna is
Patna is
Nearer than
nearer
Odisha.
the
nearer to Bihar Sharif than
Rashtra.
than
Then Odisha.
Odisha. We are comparing Bihar, Patna, and Odisha, right? Than
Yeah.
word is used before the thing that we are comparing. Okay, Patna is being compared to Odisha. Patna is nearer than Odisha to Bihar Sharif. Last, number 8.
The flat is more modern,
The
The
flat
flat
is
is
modern than
the house.
more
the
modern
house.
than
The flat is more modern. The flat
Okay.
is more modern. The flat is more modern. Okay. The flat is more modern. Number 3. More modern than
The house.
the house. Okay,
the
now
The house, sir.
notice how I'm going to make sentences. Okay, I'm going to use some pronouns. Okay, let's see. Pete's car is smaller than Anne's car, and it is cheaper too. Pete's car is smaller than Anne's car, and it is cheaper too. Anne's car is newer
newer
and more
than
comfortable.
Pete's car.
No, I didn't say it because when I had made the first sentence, Pete's car is smaller than Anne's car and it is cheaper too. Everybody understood that I'm comparing Pete's car and Anne's car. And when I said Anne's car is newer and more comfortable, then everybody knows that I'm still comparing Anne's car and Pete's car. Okay, so in real life, you don't always say than in every sentence. Sometimes when you're comparing two things, once you have established that you're comparing them, you don't have to repeat than all the time in every sentence. Suppose I'm comparing Bihar Sharif and Patna. I said that Patna is bigger than Bihar Sharif, and I think it's more expensive too. So it's more expensive than Bihar Sharif. It's obvious, right? So that's what I meant. Sometimes we use the pronouns and we don't use than plus the noun because it's obvious that we are comparing these two things. The house is bigger than the flat and it's more expensive as well. But the flat is nearer and more modern, nearer to the center and more modern. So when we speak, we don't always practice those full sentences that way. Yes, it is necessary to learn them. As you guys are learners, you should learn. But I must tell you that in real life conversation, people don't always use the whole sentence like this. It depends on the context, how they will go. It was warmer yesterday. Let's practice this. Complete
warmer,
the sentence.
warmer, sir.
Warmer.
Yeah, warmer. Yeah, what warmer?
Comparative or warm? You didn't watch the recording last 2 days. We have been studying comparative adjectives. Okay. So watch the recording of the 12th and the 11th of September. Today is the 13th. Last 2 days, we studied the comparative adjective. That's why we are doing this exercise. It was warmer yesterday. Kal zyada garmi thi aaj se.
Okay.
It was warmer yesterday. Complete the sentences with the comparative form of the adjective in bold. Number 1, it isn't very warm today. It was warmer yesterday. It isn't very warm today. It was warmer yesterday. 2, he isn't very clever. His sister is much. Comparative. Use the comparative
Much
adjective.
clever.
Cleverer.
Much clever.
Or more clever is also used. He isn't very clever. His sister is more clever, much more clever. जरा हिंदी में बोलना तो. Yes, sorry. What's the Hindi? Sorry. हेलो. देखो ये बुरा है. तुम लोग बहुत तोते की तरह प्रैक्टिस करते हो. जब हिंदी बोलने के लिए कहता हूँ सन्नाटा मार जाते हो. I don't like it. तुरंत बोला करो. प्रैक्टिस कर चुके हो मेरे साथ तो.
वो ज्यादा तेज नहीं है, उसकी बहन ज्यादा, उससे थोड़ा ज्यादा,
थोड़ा नहीं बहुत ज्यादा.
थोड़ा
Much. He isn't very clever. वो उतना कोई खास तेज नहीं है. His sister is much clever. उसकी बहन उससे बहुत है. Number 3. Cats are friendly, but dogs are
Friendlier.
a lot
Not friendly.
friendlier. Cats are friendly, but dogs are a lot friendlier. Say it in Hindi. क्यों कहता हूं ऐसा हर बार? क्योंकि you guys don't use your imagination. बस खाली कुछ तोते की तरह आप इसको बस आगे बढ़ा देते हो, बोल के चले जाते हो, कंप्लीट कर देते हो, सोचते समझते नहीं उतना. और जब तक सोचोगे समझोगे नहीं, सीखोगे नहीं.
बिल्ली वफादार होते हैं,
बिल्ली
लेकिन कुत्ता और भी होता है.
लेकिन कुत्ता ज्यादा तेज है.
Okay. Praful is laughing. Why are you laughing, Praful?
तेज से बिल्ली इज
Cats are friendly, but dogs are a lot of friendly.
और कहाँ लिखा है अखिलेश?
Sorry, lot friendly.
फ्रेंडली फ्रेंडली रह जाता, उसका कंपैरेटिव नहीं होता. कंपेयर कर रहे हैं ना.
Friendlier.
अब क्या मतलब क्या हुआ वो बताओ.
बिल्ली फ्रेंडली होती है, बट कुत्ता
कुत्ता
बहुत ज्यादा.
ज्यादा होता है.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cats are friendly, but dogs are a lot friendlier. Number 4.
Girls are friendly, but boys are a lot of friendly, sir.
ऑफ कहाँ लिखा है?
Sorry, but boys are a lot friendly.
रुखसार कल और परसों का देख लो, उसके बाद सब आसान हो जाएगा बेटा.
Okay, sir.
Number 4.
your
Your
homework
homework
is
is good, but I think you can do better.
good.
Rajiv, pronunciation. Rajiv, say it again.
Your homework is good, but I think you can do better.
Yes, last time you did not say better correctly. Okay. Number 5.
The
The news
The news
is
is
bad,
bad, but
but it
it
could
worse.
be worse.
works.
हाँ, इसकी हिंदी मैं कर देता हूँ. न्यूज बुरा है, लेकिन और बुरा हो सकता है. It could be worse. It could be. और भी बुरा होने के चांसेस हैं. It could be worse. Now, number 2. Complete the sentences with a comparative adjective. This flat is too old for me. ये फ्लैट ना ज्यादा ही पुराना है मेरे हिसाब से. This flat is too old for me.
Too old for
I want somewhere.
more modern.
I
More
want
modern.
somewhere more modern. I want somewhere more modern. Okay, this flat is too old for me. I want somewhere more modern. हमको थोड़ा ज्यादा नया चाहिए. इससे ज्यादा है ना? Somewhere more modern. This TV program is boring.
Boring.
Is there something?
More
Is there something more interesting on
Another
channel?
channel? Is there something more interesting on another channel?
It's more interesting.
This TV program is boring. Is there something more interesting on another channel? This jumper is too small.
I need a bigger one.
I need a bigger one.
Exactly. I need a bigger one.
Bigger one.
ये ज्यादा छोटा है, इससे बड़ा चाहिए. Number 4.
My
My
coffee is
coffee
very
Very
big.
big.
My
I
coffee is
have
very big. Can I
Can
have
I
a
have a
stronger one?
harder one?
Can I have harder one?
Stronger
Harder,
one. Stronger one.
strong,
Opposite of weak is
Stronger one.
strong.
Strong coffee. Okay. Number 5. This lesson is so difficult.
Yesterday, it
Yesterday
was
it was
easier.
much
Much
easier.
easier.
Much easier.
You need to do this again because you realize you guys needed to be more confident about these questions. So, okay, 9.5. Did you write the audio file for 9.5? I guess you didn't. Now, I'll play 9.5 again and help you with what he says here. Today, my computer is slow.
9.5. Larry,
What happened?
an American living and working in London.
Well, I like both New York
Well, I like both New York and London. Tone. Well, I like both New York and London.
and London.
हमको तो दोनों अच्छा लगता है. Well, I like both New York and London.
But they're good for different things.
But they're good for different things. But they're good for different things. All right.
New York is easier to walk around.
New York is easier to walk around. If you don't have a vehicle and if you like walking, then New York is a better place to live. You know, New York is easier to walk around
Because it's smaller.
because it's smaller.
The underground is better than the subway.
In his opinion, the underground is better than the subway. He is from New York, but he is not biased. Okay, he is telling you the truth. The underground is better than the subway.
It's much nicer,
Much nicer,
It's much nicer.
but it is more expensive.
but it's more expensive.
More expensive.
Yes, it's more expensive.
Of course, there are a lot of older buildings in London.
Of course, there are a lot of buildings in London. Why he says, of course, there are a lot of buildings in London? Because London is an old city. An old city means older buildings, okay? Go to Jaipur, go to Agra, and you will see a lot of old buildings. Go to Delhi. Oh my goodness, you will see a lot of older buildings there, much older than the buildings in Bihar. In
Go to
Bihar, there are, yes?
Go to Rajasthan.
Yeah. Rajasthan. Jaipur is in Rajasthan. So I said there will be a lot of older buildings because people have been living in these places for a long time. Okay. So this place, you know, London is an old city. That's why he says, of course, there are a lot of old buildings in London.
So it's kind of more interesting.
So it's kind of more interesting. एक तरह से interesting है. Kind of is used, you know, to mean a little. So it's kind of more interesting because when there are old buildings, people take more interest in them. Oh, what used to happen here?
And I really love the parks here.
And I really love the parks here.
My favorite is Regent's Park.
My favorite is Regent's Park. So if you are a park lover, then which city is better for you? Oh, you couldn't follow it.
London, sir.
London.
Obviously London.
Park. But there are so many.
But there are so many.
I read that nearly half of London is green.
I read that nearly half of London is green. I read that nearly half of London is green. Nearly half of London is green. It means you don't have buildings on them. So if you like greenery, if you like living around trees, London is better.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I like it here in summer.
I like it here in summer. He says, I like it here in summer. Here refers to London or New York because he lives and works in London. So here refers to London. He says, I like it here in summer. गर्मी में हमको यहाँ ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है. I like it here in summer.
It's a lot hotter in New York.
It's a lot hotter in New York. It's a lot hotter in New York. New York में ज्यादा हो जाता है. यहाँ से बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है गर्मी. New York is a lot hotter. It's a lot hotter in New York.
And it can get way too hot there.
And it can get way too hot there. It can get way too hot there, way too hot, and way too hot. Yeah. You bought a t-shirt for your nephew. And he says, Uncle, it's way too big. Can't wear it. It's way too big. बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा है. थोड़ा बहुत बड़ा होता है पहन लेते, मैनेज कर लेते. It's way too big. ऐसे हिंदी मतलब वही मतलब रास्ता तो रटे ही हो गए. WAY way means रास्ता. WAY way means रास्ता. अब रास्ता लगा देंगे इसमें तो हम रास्ते पे आ जाएंगे इंग्लिश के मामले में. Way too big. Okay. हम आपसे बहुत ज्यादा उम्र के हैं. ऐसा नहीं कि 2-4 साल बड़े हम आपसे. I'm way too. Okay. ये एक कंपैरिजन के लिए नहीं यूज करते इसको. Okay, ठीक है. इसको कंपैरिजन के लिए यूज नहीं करते. We were talking about way too. कोई चीज के बारे में बताना है कि जरूरत से ज्यादा है वो. You know, like mummy cooked chicken curry, but you're saying माँ बहुत जरूरत से ज्यादा मिर्चा है इसमें. It's way too hot. It's way too hot. You can't eat it. It's way too hot. So he says that, you know, it can get way too hot in New York.
Winters are warmer here
Winters are warmer here in
in London, but they're so gray.
But they are so gray. Winters are warmer here in London. Winters are warmer in London. Matlab, compare London's winter and New York's winter, then London's winters are warmer. It means New York winters are colder. Right. But the problem is they're so gray. It means in winter season, you miss the sunshine. Gray, you understand? When the sun doesn't come out, then we describe the day as gray. Okay. Oh, it's so gray today. It means there is no sunshine. Okay. So the winters in London are warmer than the winters in New York. But the problem is the winters in London are gray.
In New York, winters are colder.
In New York, winters are colder, but
and snowier. But
and snowier. Snowier means, you understand? It snows more in New York than in London. London winters are not snowier. New York winters are snowier, but it's sunnier.
Sunnier. As for winters are colder and snowier, but sunnier.
But sunnier. But the sun shines more often. Okay. There is more sunshine in the winter season in New York. In New York is interesting. No, it is colder. It is snowier. मतलब ठंड भी ज्यादा होती है, बर्फ भी गिरती है. And despite that, it is sunnier as well compared to London's winters. Interesting, isn't it? Because when you know that a place has more snow, you don't expect the sunshine there. But interestingly, London's winters are warmer. The temperature is higher, and still the sun doesn't shine there. New York's winters are colder, and yet it is sunnier. Interesting.
As for the people,
As for the people, जहां तक people की बात है, as for the people, so when you bring a new topic, कहते इस चीज का सवाल, इस चीज का बात है, as for the people, learn the phrase as for the people, अगर suppose you're talking about STC और बता रहे हो जहां तक कोर्स का सवाल है, as for the course, it's an international course sir teaches, the course is not a local course that sir teaches. जहां तक क्लास स्टूडेंट लोग का सवाल है, as for the students, they are from different age groups, वो अलग अलग एज ग्रुप्स के होते हैं. Okay, so as for something, as for the people,
Well, generally Americans are friendlier to strangers than the British.
to strangers. Generally Americans are friendlier to strangers than the British. The British are not very friendly to strangers, okay? Americans are friendlier to strangers. They talk to strangers in a more friendly way.
Life is faster in New York,
Life is faster in New York,
though, and Londoners are probably more polite.
And Londoners are probably more polite. Are yaar, they save themselves, their reputation by calling themselves polite. The fact is, Londoners are very rude people. They don't care much about strangers. They don't talk much about, to them. They are not very warm. They're not very friendly. And they just try to, defend themselves, saying, oh, we are just polite people. We don't interfere in other people's matters unnecessarily. Okay, so that was 9.5. I have already shared the audio file with you. I hope you guys will find listening to 9.5 fun. And when you listen, you learn, of course. Now, comparing cities. If you listen with the same attitude as me, then you learn a lot. And I try and teach you how you should listen. Now, look at the practice section here. Comparing cities, okay? You have some conversations here, between A and B, and you have to complete them using the comparative form of the adjectives. The adjectives are given, you have to write the comparative form, okay? So please read the lines properly, try and understand what A is saying and what is B's problem, okay? So go ahead and do this exercise, everyone. A says, New York is older than London. B says, no, it isn't. B disagrees with A. New York isn't older than London. New York is much more modern. Carry on. Okay, I guess I gave you guys enough time to do it. Shall I check now?
Mm.
Guys, you need more time.
No. Done.
The rest of them are still on mute. Perhaps they have fallen asleep. A, number 2. What does A
Tokyo.
say? Tokyo is
Cheaper than Bangkok.
cheaper than Bangkok.
Bangkok.
Then B
No, it
disagrees. B
isn't.
says, no, it isn't.
It isn't.
Tokyo is much
Tokyo
more
is much
expensive.
more modern.
अरे भाई ये कहाँ चले गए?
Who says more?
कहाँ? राजीव जाग जाओ यार.
Yes, sir.
And we are doing 2 or 1.
Sir, अब मुझे one.
Tokyo.
Reading.
Okay, we are doing 2 because we have already done 1. A says New York is older than London. B says no, it isn't. New York is much more modern. Then number 2. Tokyo is cheaper than Bangkok, A says. B disagrees with A. B says no, it isn't. It isn't means Tokyo isn't cheaper than Bangkok. Tokyo is much
More expensive.
more expensive. Now, number 3. What does A say?
Amsterdam
Amsterdam is bigger than Paris.
Amsterdam is bigger than Paris. B
No,
says
it
no,
isn't.
it isn't.
Amsterdam is much more smaller.
Acha.
Amsterdam is much smaller.
Much smaller, sorry, sir.
Amsterdam
much
is much smaller. Okay. Johannesburg is safer than Cape Town.
B.
No,
No,
it
it isn't. It isn't. Johannesburg is
Johannesburg is
much
more dangerous.
more dangerous. 5. The traffic in Mexico City is better than in Sao Paulo. No, it isn't. It's much worse.
Gods.
The traffic in Mexico City is much worse.
Gods.
9.6. Let's listen.
9.6. Comparing cities. 1.
New York is older than London.
No, it isn't. New York is much more modern.
2.
Tokyo is cheaper than Bangkok.
No, it isn't. Tokyo is much more expensive.
3.
Amsterdam is bigger than Paris.
No, it isn't. Amsterdam is much smaller.
4.
Johannesburg is safer than Cape Town.
No, it isn't. Johannesburg is much more dangerous.
5.
The traffic in Mexico City is better than in Sao Paulo.
No, it isn't. It's much worse.
Delhi is bigger than Bihar.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
It is a smaller.
It's much
smaller
smaller. बहुत छोटा है बिहार से.
Yes,
It is
much smaller.
बहुत छोटा है
than
बिहार
Bihar.
से. Govinda is taller than Amitabh Bachchan.
No,
No.
No, he isn't.
No, it isn't.
He isn't. No, he isn't.
No, he isn't.
Govinda is much smaller.
He is much shorter.
Much smaller.
He is much shorter. Okay, okay. Okay. Shrishti is older than me.
no, Caesar.
No, she isn't. She is much younger.
Yes,
much
sister, if
younger.
you are
She's
speaking,
much
you say, no, sir,
more
I'm
young.
not. Instead of saying she, you say, no, sir, I'm not. I'm much younger. Okay. Guavas are tastier than mangoes.
Yes, it is.
No,
Okay,
it
yes,
is.
they are. If you really agree, then you say, yes, they
Hmm.
are. Guavas are tastier than mangoes. Other people? Do you agree with the statement? Guavas are tastier than mangoes? If somebody said this line to me, I wouldn't agree. I would say, nope, they aren't. They aren't. Mangoes are a lot tastier. Okay. American girls are shorter than Indian girls.
No, they
No.
aren't. They are taller than
They're much
the
taller.
they are much taller.
No, they aren't. They're much taller. American girls are much taller. My Spanish is much better than my English.
No, it isn't. English is
Your English is much better. My papa is stronger than your papa. Kids have this argument. My papa is stronger than your papa. No, he isn't.
my
Your
papa is
papa is
strong.
much weaker. My papa is a lot stronger than your papa. Okay. So this is how we use the comparative adjectives to compare to people, to things, to ideas. Okay, everybody? I don't think concept-wise there is any confusion left. Practically, there will be a lot of challenges when you speak English. But if you think about the concept, then you can take care of those problems. You know, you got to speak slowly. Watermelons are smaller than oranges.
No, they are. No, it is not.
अरे यार मैंने कहा था watermelons are smaller than oranges और तुम it ले आए.
No, they aren't.
Watermelons countable है ना? Unit 8 is over, bhai. Unit 8 is over. We talked about countable, uncountable. Watermelon countable है ना? 1, 2, 3 हो सकते हैं ना watermelon. Okay. So we are making general statements. Okay. So what shall we say? Watermelons are something, something. Okay. I said watermelons are smaller than oranges. You say?
No, they aren't.
No, they aren't. They are
They are much bigger.
much bigger. Okay. Now, why don't you guys make some comments and we will correct. You guys make some false comments. Shah Rukh is younger than Ranveer Singh.
No, he isn't. He is older than.
He is much older, yeah. 20 years. He is in his 30s, he is in his 50s, yeah. Much older. Much मतलब समझ गए बेटा? थोड़ा सा नहीं, बहुत ज्यादा. फर्क जो है बहुत ज्यादा है. अगर थोड़ा सा फर्क है तो a little, okay? Much नहीं, a little, a little. For example, Praful is a little older than Rajiv.
No,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
It is wrong.
Okay, I know why you guys don't want to accept that you are older, because you want the right to call your friend's wife Bhabhi, right? You don't want to be called the Bhansur, you want to remain the Devar. Well, I want to tell you something. You know, when it is about friends, age doesn't matter. Even if Praful is older, he has the right to call Rajiv's wife Bhabhi, even if he's older, because he's a friend. He's not a brother, he's a friend. So don't quarrel about who is older, who is younger, okay? You guys can call each other's wife Bhabhi, no problems. Okay, and so anybody else wants to give me some more sentences? Cow's milk has more fat than buffalo's milk. Cow's milk has more fat than buffalo's
No,
milk.
no, it isn't.
No, it
Isn't.
isn't. कहाँ से आया रे? मैंने कहा था cow's milk has more fat.
No,
So इसमें
it
it
It doesn't.
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
it doesn't.
It doesn't. And then
Buffalo milk is.
हाँ, अगर आप चाहे तो आप adjective use कर लें. But no, it doesn't. Buffalo's milk is a lot fattier, a lot fattier, much fattier. Fattier, देखो fat a noun, fatty is an adjective. Fatty. जिसमें ज्यादा fat हो उस food को fatty कहते हैं. FATTY. Okay, fattier. FATTIER. No, buffalo's milk is a lot fattier. So ऐसे करके बातें करना है. I told you that concept-wise there shouldn't be a problem. But practically, of course, English is a new language, so you guys will struggle a little bit, but don't worry. Now, you can compare any two things that you want, okay? You can compare two cities, you can compare two people, two stars, anything. When you compare two cities, there are so many things to compare. For example, you can compare the roads, you can compare the electricity condition, you can compare the people, you can compare the weather, you can compare the buildings, you can compare the markets, the shops, you can compare the lifestyle, you can compare pollution, level of pollution. So guys, when you compare two cities, you can compare so many things. Why don't you do some homework for tomorrow? You write a nice comparison between two cities, okay? And do not write point-wise, point by point, okay? That's not very good writing style. When I ask you to write, Hamesha, okay? This message is for forever and ever. When I ask you to write, don't write point by point, 1, 2, 3, ऐसे करके. Write a text, okay? It could be Nevada and Bihar Sharif. Bihar Sharif and Patna. If, you know, whatever, any two cities, guys, that you know, okay, compare them. And it starts like this, okay, Bihar Sharif and Nevada, because recently I was in Nevada. Bihar Sharif and Nevada are not very far from each other. It's only 40 kilometers between them, and they're both not very big cities. But Bihar Sharif is more modern than Nevada. My wife says that there are more beautiful shops in Bihar Sharif, and the shops are also bigger in Bihar Sharif. देखो अब comparison शुरू कर दिए हम, ठीक है? However, I noticed that the people in Nevada are friendlier than people in Bihar Sharif. And things are cheaper in Nevada. I bought a plate of chicken chili for 140 rupees in a nice, which dhaba, कौन सा मीट बहुत फेमस होता है, कहाँ का मीट? तो हांडी मीट.
Champaran.
Champaran. Yeah, I was in a Champaran meat house, and they served me a plate of chicken chili for 140 rupees only. So I think, and other things are also much cheaper in Nevada. However, the roads are not as wide. Roads in Bihar Sharif are a little wider, not a lot, a little wider. Traffic is a common problem. Both the cities have traffic issues, but Bihar Sharif has traffic is worse. Okay, so did you notice that I was not writing point by point? I was writing the way I felt, the way I wanted to tell you. So this style of writing is good practice for you guys. It's good practice for your future as well. When you have to write something for an exam or something, maybe a letter or an email, things like this, or an essay, so please do this. This should be your homework. Compare two cities, any two cities that you want to compare, okay? And try and make it personal a little bit, okay? Write beautifully, guys. Correct? Yes, but write beautifully. That's all for today, I think. We'll carry on tomorrow. And be regular. In other classes, I'm calling attendance, but in your class, I am not calling attendance because I don't know, maybe I will start calling attendance in a couple of days, okay? To just notice how many days people attend classes. In many classes, in two of my classes, like 7:30 batch and the evening class, I'm calling attendance just to keep a track, keep track of a student's presence, how many days they attend the class in a week, in a month. Thank you, Arish. Yes, this background helps me, be more presentable with you guys. Because you know how my background is so cluttered, there's so many things, it's a complete mess here, right? All the time. I am not a very tidy person, you guys know, so I'm taking help of technology to look a little tidier, okay, than I actually am. Okay, I'm going to finish it for today and we will carry on tomorrow. Do your homework and that's it. Just revise your lessons, what comparative adjectives are, how we practically use them in conversation. Do the same exercises one more time if you want to. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye, sir.
Nice day.